Hey guys, just wanted to do a video here giving you an update as to what's going on here at my sawmill. And you saw in the last video that I was going to give you an update much sooner than I thought I was going to. That's been several months. So I think that was beginning of September when I sent that or uploaded that video, and now it is January. But here I am now. So yeah, a lot of upgrades, and so I'm going to show you where I started from and what I moved to. Okay, here's the mill I first started off with, the LT28. It's a good sawmill, you know, can't really complain anything about it. If you're dealing with big logs, it's a pain in the butt. It's slower only because you have to manhandle everything. You know, flipping the logs around, all that jazz. But I bought that mill October of 17, and I want to show you a little something over here I got. That's right, walnut logs. Yeah, the tree service guy kind of jacked that one up, but you know, I didn't pay anything for them, so I'm not going to complain. But another thing, since last late fall, this was a muddy mess. So what I decided I'm going to do is what you see right over here. Big old pile of chips from tree service. So they dropped off, I believe, about 60 yards of the chips, and got that all spread out along this lane here. And I'm going to show you my permanent location for my Lucas mill. And these are all maple logs over here. Oh, that's maple. And right there's the Lucas mill set up with a pin oak underneath of it for planing. And yes, that planing attachment is fantastic, worth every penny. You cannot plane through a planer a board that has cupping and get that slab, I should say, flat. This here will plane that thing perfectly flat. And the pain in the butt part of it is just like with any other kind of planing operation. You got to do one side, then you got to do the other side, and you got to flip it back and forth to even out the tensions in the slab. So that's the only kind of pain in the butt part about it. But it gives you a nice smooth finish. I'll show you the disc or the attachment that's on it. But this is something I want to do a video also, because there isn't hardly anything out there. It's that disc there. It's about, it might be 8 to 10 inch diameter. I believe it has 10 carbide teeth on it, and it does an absolutely magnificent job. And one other thing that I want to get is the sanding attachment for it. Reason being, what I didn't realize was the sanding attachment is a random orbit sander. And until you get information from Lucas Mill, I don't think Bailey's actually advertises it as a random orbit sander. But here's the upgrade. You ready for it? Here it comes. What do we see here? Oh yeah, a bunch of cherry logs. That's not the upgrade though. What do we have here? Oh, that's a log deck, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Upgraded to the LT70. Not just upgraded to the LT70, but I upgraded to the full system. There's the log deck, and yeah, that thing's great. The conveyor, walk around the other side, and this is something I want to show some videos about also, because once again, there's nothing out there. Actually, I'll just give you a little taste of it right now. Keys right here, you just turn the thing on. That's what the screen looks like. And it goes through a little bit of a warm-up process for the engine. And after it's done doing its thing, then you get your regular screen. And you know, it's not a touch screen. Yeah, that's why you got buttons down here. But the cool thing about this, these buttons right here put the bed into different modes. This button right here. So when I push on this left button, watch what happens to the screen. Now it's giving you what each joystick is doing. So on the left here, this joystick is going to, when I'm holding this left button down, it's giving you those options for raising and lowering. No, that's for rotating the log. And then this over here is for loading the log. So the right joystick there controls the log deck. Pretty much, yeah. That's all the right joystick is going to do, except for that button right there, is control the log deck. So now, I'm going to switch hands here. When I hold down on the right button, now it's giving you the options for the joysticks when the right button is pulled down, which is your log clamp. And for the right joystick, it's the loading of the log. So, yeah, that's really cool. And I'll show you more then about the pattern and the auto down functions and everything else. But this Sawmill is an absolute beast of a mill. I love it. It's a 2014 model. It's not the wide. It's not, they say it's not the Super 70, but I don't know that I would even want the Super 70. That, you know, the faster hydraulics, from what I've read and from other people that have it in the forestry forum, is that with that thing running so stinking fast, that when you go to stop the head, if you're pushing the board back, when you go to stop it, it jerks around so much that you could actually the bearings that hold the head up, you're really putting a lot of strain on those. Yep, also got the transfer table. And this guy right here, the EG200. This thing, when it makes a cut, it makes a straight cut. It is just absolutely awesome. Does a nice job. Has the diesel engine on it. Yes, I think I mentioned it. I bought it used. You know, so there's some imperfections on it. But everything works fantastic. And here's another upgrade I'm doing. Right up here. Just got this thing delivered yesterday. It's a 12 by 24 shed, but it's not going to be a shed for long. This is going to be my L200M kiln from Nyle. Insulating it with rock wool. Just went and bought a bunch of that today. So inside here, yeah, I got all the insulation and everything yet to do. So, like I said, I just got this thing delivered yesterday. The doors are 8 by, the opening here is 8 by 8. So I need to do a little bit of beefing up of the structure around this thing, because the doors, yeah, these things are stinking heavy. I'd like to put them on a scale, but I'll bet they're every bit of 75 to 100 pounds each. So I bought some heavy duty hinges, and Yeah, I'm beefing this up as well, so don't worry about that. But yeah, like I said, this is a 12 by 24. The entire thing is not going to be kiln. The kiln portion of it is going to come back to 20 feet, which is approximately right here. So then I have this space over here then. Behind it, there's going to be a wall right here partitioning the kiln portion off. So I have this sized for the capacity of doing 8-foot wide packs. So with 8-foot wide packs, that's going to give me 2 feet on either side, but actually not 2 feet. The inside dimensions here, I don't remember exactly what it measured, but excuse me. These are 2x4s. So I got the rock wool insulation to insulate this. Then on top of the insulation, I'm going to have 2-inch thick foam boards, which is going to cover that whole thing. Then on top of that is going to be 1/2 inch, kind of undecided as to what thickness. It doesn't need to be anything big, thick, and heavy duty. It just needs to cover the foam boards. The floor of this, let me show you how they built the floor. You can see it's on 4x4 skids, run the entire length, and on top of that is 2x4 treated 2x4s. Yeah, everything on this thing except for the inside 2x4s is treated. And the 2x4s are on edge, then it's sheathed over top of that. So what I'm doing, this skid right here and this skid right here are 6 feet center to center. So when I build my kiln cart, that's how I'm going to do this. There's going to be a 20 foot of track outside here that's going to run right on into the kiln. And I'm going to load and unload the track with my forklift there. But I have to insulate the floor. So this right here and the other one, I'm going to have a 2x4 on edge with another 1/2 inch thick layer of plywood on top of that to build it up to a thickness of 2 inches. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the edges, but I'm not going to, build an entire grid 16-inch on center, that kind of thing. I'm going to put the 2-inch thick foam down, and it's going to be the Foamular 250 stuff. So the only weight that this 3 or 4 feet over here beyond that skid that's going to be reinforced by the 2x4, all of the weight from the lumber is going to be right down on top of that guy underneath there. So over here, the only weight that's going to be bearing down on that is the weight of me walking around in here. And that foam board will be plenty strong enough with the sheathing on top of it. So that's what I got going on. The kiln parts, the electronics from Nyle is supposed to be here in about 2 weeks. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to document the whole thing and have some videos. I'm not 100% certain that I'll be able to do that. But, as things go, it'll probably be just videos showing progression, not actual doing anything of any kind of work. But I definitely want to show some videos on that LT70. Oh yeah, the LT70 itself is the LT70 DCS. And I also welcome comments, constructive comments. And yeah, this is not a rock wool commercial, a Wood-Mizer commercial, or anything else commercial. This is just me showing you guys stuff that's going on here, and I want to show you the sawmill better because it's worth a good look. But that's where we are now, and see you next time.